Welcome in, Shield Brothers and Shield Maidens, to Shield's Rest. I'm Brown.
And I'm Fry.
Are you the type who likes to lead your team into battle? Are you prepared to charge the front lines while inspiring your allies? Then today's video might be for you.
Avengers assemble!
Brad, do you have any stories from your time of playing that resemble Captain America style?
I think the closest I'll have is he didn't use a shield or weapon in general. He was a grappler build, so his whole thing was just to um, grapple enemies, keep them close so that other PCs could like do the damage and do the killing. Um, didn't have a shield to throw, but he was a goblin thrower for one fight, so that was fun. That's
So
probably as close as I had to like a melee utility character.
I think that definitely counts. Throwing goblins is definitely a D&D version of Captain America.
Yeah.
I played a dwarf warrior named Bolvir Strongheart, and he was more like retired military, up in the front. Really cared about like defending his allies, and so he did a lot of shield related moves, shove and bash and knock down and things
Mhm.
like that. So very much a frontline protector and hopefully inspirer of allies. So pretty fun to play that way. For those of you who maybe haven't played that way, but without further ado, we'll jump into Foundry here. Stephen Grant Rogers, better known simply as Steve, is an enhanced super soldier known as Captain America. He utilizes extensive combat training to confront threats and bring justice to evildoers. With an inspiring presence, he spreads courage to his teammates. One of the fun facts about Captain America, which Fry actually told me about, is that the vibranium shield he uses doesn't actually have any special powers. He's just that intelligent that he's able to calculate. So when he does his throws of the shield, he's actually calculating that for the accuracy of it and to get the ricochet effect going, which super cool. So, but for this, we've chosen just to make a human commander for Captain America, and I'll let Fry talk to the kind of things you'll need to have.
Right. Yeah. So we'll just need to be level 4 total for this build. You can go higher. For the ancestry, we did choose human, but really you could go with anything here. If you didn't want to specifically play Captain America, but you wanted to play like the style, you could go with kind of any ancestry and pick what you need. But we chose resilience, human resolve, human determination, unbreakable, and then we get undying for free. Then we're going to pick up Commander's Call and Commanding Aura from the Commander class. We'll use those in his build. We're going to take two multi classes, one in Warlock and one in Monk. We need his Iconic Shield for its throwing property. We're going to pick up three maneuvers. We got Sweep Attack, Power Attack, and Raise Shield, and then two techniques, Heroic Bash and Forbearance.
Yep. Also, honorable mention for packed weapon option. You could also do potentially Spellblade. We don't want to do more Spellblade related videos, but you could do Spellblade as well for their bound weapon. So we'll leave that checklist up there on the screen for you. And then we'll just talk about, let's see here. We got the overview, right? So Captain America has the following abilities. In Marvel Rivals, he has Sentinel Strike, Super Soldier Slam, Living Legend, Vibranium Energy Saw, Leading Dash, Liberty Rush, and his ultimate ability, Freedom Charge. I'll let Fry take us into the first ability, which is Sentinel Strike.
Right. So for Sentinel Strike, that's pretty much just his shield, that vibranium shield. With it, it has the toss property, so you can throw it, and when you throw a shield, it's considered a ranged martial attack. So it lets us use some maneuvers with it as well. So to simulate the ricocheting, we'll have sweep attack there, so it can bounce his targets, and then to make sure the shield comes back to you, that's where we're going to have that warlock dip for the packed weapon, and that lets you summon your shield back to your arm once per turn.
Yep, and I just kind of pull it up there for a minute so people can read it. The next ability is going to be Super Soldier Slam, and this is where we're going to go with the Heroic Bash technique. If you've played Captain America, essentially he can run in, jump in the air, and then slam down. So we're going to be using that technique with the bash and smash for the AoE effect from it, but also to knock whomever is there airborne as well. So that's a pretty cool one.
Yeah. And then for Living Legend, this is his kind of a barrier technique, raising its shields and deflects his projectiles. We're gonna do the shield maneuver here, or raise shield maneuver here, sorry, to kind of take half damage from those attacks. Um, don't have any way to deflect the projectiles with this one. Later on down the line, if you wanted to do some more multi-classing or change up how you multi-class, you could pick up deflect weapon from Monk as well from its level 2 feature. But we decided to just stick with the shield maneuver to at least reflect the projectiles instead of like concept.
Yep, for sure. Then we've got the Vibranium Energy Saw. This is essentially, again, just his shield that he's throwing, adding on the sweep attack to that. You could also switch that up for power attack depending on the situation, but essentially just throwing the shield to hit multiple targets and have it come back to him, again, through just the passive of the Warlock weapon there.
Yeah, and then you could also just combine them all into one for one big super attack if you wanted to spend
Yeah,
all your AP on one big move.
that is true.
And then we have Leading Dash. This is just a speed boost and a jumping boost as well. So this is where we took that multi-class into Monk for Step of the Wind, and that's going to give us +1 to our movement speed and +1 to our jumping as well.
Yeah, and the best part about that is it's on all the time, right? So it applies to some of the other abilities that we've talked about as well, which the next one coming up will be Liberty Rush. And what we're going to do with that one is we're taking the Step of the Wind passive, right, is on there as well, but we're also mixing in another technique of Forbearance. And what that does is let you do an action point and a SP to essentially become the new target of a check that might be intended for an ally. And then you can use something such as the enhancement of immense defense to reduce incoming damage from that. Or alternatively, you could use the other enhancement to extend that to additional targets to protect more than just one person. So kind of a cool flavor option there to fit different scenarios as well.
And then for Freedom Charge, his ultimate moves, raising the shield, charging forward to boost the health and movement speed of his allies and himself. So for that one, that's going to be a kind of a combo of all those commander class features. So we have commanding aura that is going to provide our allies with a little bit of extra health, as well as inspiring presence, which gives us the option to heal our allies. And then we also have Commander's Call for that increased movement speed for everybody. So it's kind of they all kind of need to be turned on, so to speak. But once they're all up and moving, they're there, and you just have all these kind of like movement and healing options for you and your party members.
This is the breakdown of everything you'll need to make the class and how we kind of laid it all out. But I think what I see from Captain America is that he's a martial class, but he also is more like our Storm video where, he kind of like all his moves kind of tie in together in a way, especially like the Freedom Charge and Liberty Rush. They're pulling on his other like passive features to really kick those off and make them more impactful. So it's pretty cool to see that kind of mix because Captain America is not a spellcaster by any means, but he is using kind of from the way we're building these the same style of weaving in his passives to do those types of things.
Yeah, it's basically you just have all his abilities there on standby, ready to kind of go and combine as you need them, as opposed to just those like kind of one for one abilities. So very very flexible character. You kind of choose what you want to do in the moment.
Yeah, I definitely would want to play this. I want to play all of them so far. Really, there's not one that's been a favorite other than just the Hulk is my favorite hero. But these have all been pretty fun to do. So, um, but yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Again, please engage with us in the comments and let us know if you like this, don't like this, if you would have done something differently or think there's a better option. We are looking to in the future use these builds that we're doing in a fun way to maybe do some type of tournament or arena or one shot or something. So your comments and feedback will help us decide like which ones people are more interested in, and if there are any that require those like real changes, that'll make us aware, and we can make these the best we can, so that when we use it later, it's a more fair representation. But yeah, we love you all, and until the next time, keep that shield wall strong.
Take care.